Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can perform a Freeman-Tukey-Read test of goodness of fit using Microsoft Excel and my stikpetE add-in. To install my add-in, you go to my GitHub account, the link is over here, download the file, open Excel, go for File Options, Add-ins, Go, then click on Browse and go to the downloaded file. This video will focus on how to actually obtain the results, not so much if you should be using this test. Perhaps you should be using a Pearson chi-square test or any of the other alternatives. And if you don't want to use my add-in, I have a separate video on how you can do the test without using the add-in. Now if you do use the add-in, here's some example data I put in, and the function of interest is actually then the TS, short for test, Freeman-Tukey-Read. It takes as input the data. That should be a vertical range, but please don't use the entire column. Just specify really the range from A2 till A something, or whichever column it is. If you like, you can also provide it with expected counts. Then for each category, list the categories, and then next to it, the expected counts. Now this test is actually a family of tests, so you can provide weights. The default is to use 4/3 and 8/3, but you can specify any weights you like. They should, however, sum up to 4. Also, you can add a continuity correction, either none, which is the default, Yates, Pearson, E.S. Pearson, not Carl Pearson, and the Williams. In your output, after you've run the function, you will get the sample size, the number of categories, K, the test statistic, which in this case is a chi-square value, the degrees of freedom, which is simply the number of categories minus 1, the p-value, which is the probability of obtaining a result as in the sample, or even more extreme if the assumption about the population would be right, the minimum expected count, and the proportion of cells that has an expected count below 5, and the description of the test that was actually used. So here's an example. I simply typed in the name of the function, fed it the specific range with the data, hit enter, and it nicely gives me, it's a range function, so it crosses over multiple cells, and it nicely gives me all of those results. In this case, the expected count is this 4 needs to be multiplied by 1 over 10 to the power of 251. That's what this e minus 251 indicates, which means it's going to be 0 point and then 251 zeros and then a 4. So extremely small, far below the usual threshold of 0.05. So we would reject the assumption about the population, which would be that all categories would have the same count in the population. Now here's an example if you wanted to use weight. So I selected 3 weights adding up to 4. So I could also even do this being 0.5 and then this being 1.5. So they add up to 4 still. And then you can still use the function, and then I don't have any expected count, so leaving this blank. And then the next one is those categories, or those weights, and it then nicely gives you the Freeman-Tukey-Read results using those weights. And that's it. I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching.